welcome back to Activity Quest, the podcast packed with stuff to do. In this week's episode, Conor is visiting London Museum Docklands to find out all about a brand new pop-up beach they've got. My name is Bex, and every episode of Activity Quest starts with a Fun Kids presenter doing something awesome. Now, London Museum Docklands is an amazing place to spend the final few weeks of your summer holidays, and right now, they've got a pop-up beach for you to take a look at. It's called Seaside in the City, and it's on until August the 26th. You can also celebrate some Caribbean culture at its best on the 23rd and 24th of August. There's going to be some sun-soaked tunes, food, storytelling, and loads more with a free festival for the whole family, so let's find out more from Conor.
Here we are then on the water at London Museum Docklands. I'm so happy to be here. I've been so excited about checking it out. I'm looking right now at the coolest brick building, this old cool brick building. It's just so great. I can't wait to get inside and check it all out. But first, I just wanted to say, when you come to London Museum Docklands, also, you're going to get an extra bit of fun because the DLR train to get here is like my favourite train ever. I'll tell you what, it's like a little mini roller coaster. Sit at the front, you can see all of the landscapes of London on the way. That's just a little bit of extra fun for you. Anyway, I'm here, London Museum Docklands. I'm going to go in, I'm going to chat to some people that work here, I'm going to talk to some people that are having fun here. I'm also going to tell you a little bit about what's inside and why I love it loads. I'm literally just one step in and I'm already looking around at this building like, wow, this is one cool building. It's all brickwork. The whole thing is brickwork. So it feels like you're kind of in like a really old brick building that London once had, which you pretty much are, but it's really cool. Straight away as well, there's a gift shop. So already I love it loads because a gift shop is the absolute best and there's so many fun bits that you can come and check out. Maybe take home with you as well as a little like keeper for your day at the London Museum Docklands. Anyway, let's go dive into it all and see exactly what fun is there to be had. Okay, so I'm being guided by Cassandra now into a very fun area, and basically I'm walking through a door, and to the left of the door there's a sign that says "to the ferry" with a finger pointing towards the ferry. So I think that's the way we should go. Where are we heading into now, Cassandra? What is this area?
So we are going into our museum Seaside. Now, we can't have any sand or water, but I think we've done a pretty good job getting the beach here anyway. So shall we go see what's inside?
I'm in basically a room which has been designed to be the seaside, and it feels very seaside-y. There's lots of fun stuff in here. There's like things you can climb on. We've got like little tent things you can go in as well. We've got like stuffed animal friends, which is always good fun. There's so many different toys you can play with as well. I mean, how would you explain this room other than just like maximum fun room?
Oh, gosh, I think that covers everything, really. Maximum fun room at the seaside. So we've got ice creams, we've got seagulls, we've got lights, we've got sounds. Yeah, I think that's kind of the way to describe it.
It's kind of an immersive fun room, really, isn't it? That's the idea of it. It's kind of having fun, but feeling like you're immersed within the seaside. What was the thought behind putting this in the museum? Because it's super fun and also really unique.
Oh, thank you. Well, we have a lot of strong ties to the seaside here. So our museum tells the story of the East Londoners who used to live and work right here where the museum is today. And a lot of them used to go out on day trips to the seaside, to places like Southend or Clacton-on-Sea. So they might not be able to afford to go on holidays a bit further away, but they would make a really big thing out of their trips to the seaside. So that's what we're trying to do here, is create that sort of seaside day out that a lot of East Londoners would go to in the past.
I actually live near Southend as well, so I'm a big fan of the seaside, and this does feel like I'm at Southend right now, so you've done very well.
Oh, that's amazing to hear. Thank you.
And also, I just wanted to make a point. It's all free to come here, isn't it? Like, it's free to come and have the fun, right?
It's all free. We do have some tickets online that are free. We do say it's probably best to book in advance just to make sure that you can get in on the day and the time that you want to. But we are going to try to get people in as well, so walk-ups are welcome.
Fantastic. All free. Here we go. Let's go and have some more fun in the seaside immersive room, which I love a lot. Now, after being in the seaside immersive room for some seaside fun, Cassandra's taking me up to the 3rd floor of the museum, and I've just walked out the lift to a boat. Would you call it? I know it is a boat. Would you call it a boat, or is it a rowing boat? I'm not sure.
So this is actually called a skiff. Now, skiffs were boats that would go up to larger ships, and they would help get some of the goods off of the ship, so some barrels and crates and things, and then move them closer to the dock when the ships couldn't quite get in close enough.
Well, there we go. There's the answer. That's what it's called. I've called it a rowing boat. It isn't that. It's called a skiff. There we go. Is it a skiff?
It is a skiff, but you can see that there are places where there would have been oars, so you're not wrong. They would have rowed it.
Amazing. See, this is the great thing about the London Museum at the Docklands as well, is because you can find out exactly like how things used to be back in the day, which I love so much. That's the idea of a museum, but this is really fun. Let's go check some more out. So lovely Cassandra has opened up these big double doors and we've walked into basically, you know, when you think of a room in a museum and you think to yourself it's going to be full of really old things that are very interesting. That's what we're looking at here. What are we looking at? This is a lot of stuff in a room that I want to know a lot about.
So this gallery tells the story of the building. So this building was built in 1802, and it was originally a sugar warehouse. So it would have had lots of big barrels, crates, mounds of sugar, and there would have been lots of people working with big tools, big weights, dockers' hooks, all sorts of things to shift that produce around. So this gallery has some of those tools in it, and it tells that story of what this building would have been like when it was first opened up over 200 years ago.
Oh, that's cool. Because obviously I mentioned earlier about how cool the building was. That was one of my biggest things. I was like, the building is so, so cool. So it's really cool that instantly you're able to find out what the building was like back in the day, how it used to sort of function, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of our key selling points about the museum. We are where the history happened. We are a historic building, and I think we're a beautiful building, so we want to tell that story.
So we've just gone down one floor. There's 3 floors here, by the way. 3 floors of fun, history and stuff to see. We're currently on floor 2 and I'm just seeing loads more stuff, which is great. You can come and check it all out and you can find out so much more about the history of this building and the history of, well, London and why it's so important. Is there anything, Cassandra, that you think on this floor is like a must-see, or is this just more of a kind of, you know, just come check it out, have some fun, read all about it?
So obviously, I think everything is important on this floor, but the one that's the most fun is our Sailortown Gallery. Now, that gallery is kind of built like a movie set, and it's supposed to be 1840s London, specifically Wapping and Limehouse. If anyone lives in those areas today, you can come and see if it's any different, but of course, everyone is welcome to come along. So we have things in there like a pub that you can go into. We have a stationer's shop. We've got a lodging house, and you can walk through these windy cobblestone streets to feel like what it would have been like here in this area of London about 150, 160 years ago.
The one thing that's really stood out to me as I'm walking through the museum as well is just the word immersive. You can just kind of like dive into it. You can sort of become part of it. Now listen, when mum and dad are reading all about the history and they're taking it all in, you're sort of sitting there thinking, well, what am I going to go do? I've just seen something on floor 2 that you definitely are going to want to do. Cassandra, am I right in thinking we can start building part of what maybe the history of London looked like?
Yeah, so here we have a bridge that you can build as well as the Thames Tunnel that you can finish building. So we tell in one of our galleries, City and River, the story of how the area around the Thames changed and how it was built up and how different communities coming in would have changed how it appeared. So here you can stop, you can try to build a bridge out of some foam blocks, see whose bridge is the sturdiest, see who can run over it the quickest, and see who can maybe build the best bridge, and take turns doing that, as well as trying to complete our Thames Tunnel out of foam bricks as well. So there are always places in all of the galleries where you can stop and have a bit of fun. It's not just walking through, being quiet, having to read everything. We want you to enjoy yourselves too.
See, when you're walking along the cobbled streets as well and you're kind of really diving into what it would have been like for sailors, you know, back in the day and how they would have lived and how it would have felt, you're seeing all the old shops. Now, there's one shop that stands out to me. It's called Animal Emporium. Now, on Fun Kids, obviously, we've got Animal Hour. We've got so much fun stuff happening all the time to do with animals. So I think I need to ask Cassandra. I'm asking Cassandra a lot of stuff, but she's the pro. What is the Animal Emporium all about?
So the Animal Emporium is based on a shop that was real and that existed in this part of London during the Victorian period. It was called Jamrach's Menagerie. And what happened was sailors would often bring back animals from other parts of the world that they visited, and they would sell it to the shop for extra money. And really wealthy Londoners could then come to the shop and buy exotic animals. And there's actually a story once of a tiger being in the shop and escaping. And the tiger came and it swooped up a boy in its mouth, and it was running off with the boy. And Jamrach, the owner owner of the shop had to wrestle the tiger to get the boy out of his mouth. And there's still a statue of it celebrating how he rescued the boy, although some people could argue he's the reason why the boy was in danger. But there is a statue at Tobacco Dock in London and Wapping where it shows this boy in the tiger's mouth.
So we've just left the cobbled streets, and I'm sitting there thinking, well, that was really fun. That was a really fun experience, very immersive. And then I have got more immersive fun. I can basically see in front of me right now a lounge. That's the best way to... Is it a lounge? Is it a dining area? I'm not too sure. Cassandra will definitely know.
So we call this our docker's living room, and it tells the story of what would have been a dock worker and how they would have lived and what their house may have looked like. So not every dock worker was really poor. There were lots who unfortunately didn't make much money. They weren't guaranteed work. They would only be given work when there were ships in, so they would have been really poor and struggling. But there were some people, like the family that we see here, who would have had steady work. This person would have been kind of an office manager. So while he wouldn't have been flush with cash, he wouldn't have to worry, and he could even have some luxuries like the piano that you see there, and you can hear some of the piano music playing over our speakers.
I have to say as well, I think this is a very, very nice living area. I'd be pretty comfortable living here.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, they even have a budgie, so why would anyone be upset living in a house with a piano and a budgie?
Exactly. Piano, budgie. It's perfect. There's also like little fun things that are written when you're in here as well, and it's like, what food can you find on the shelves, and you can dive in the cupboards as well and try and work out what's in there. Again, more immersive fun. It's so much fun here. You have to check it out. It's so good. And also another photo opportunity definitely is at this part right here. So we was on floor 2, we was having all the fun on the cobbled streets, we was finding out so much from Cassandra, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere Cassandra was like, we must dash. We need to get down to, where are we right now? Because this, again, it looks like good fun. Where are we?
So this is our Mudlarks Family Gallery, and it tells the history that the rest of the museum tells, but in a fun, interactive way. So especially for young children, so those 8 and under, it really gets the story across in a fun, interactive way. So we've got some soft play that you can go into, a soft play of kind of the warehouse, and we've got a little ship. And you can even see in the back there are some animals there that would have come through the docks back when we were a working dock. So it's a fun way to play and engage with that history. Behind us, we've got a water play table as well, where you can move ships along and get them up and down through the Thames. We have our T-clipper there that you can load up with cargo, and you can try to get it to balance. Costumes that you can try on, or divers' helmets that you can try on. So it's just a really interactive gallery, so that way families can understand the history that we're telling throughout the rest of the building, kind of in this one space. The only important thing to say is that this one is ticketed. It's not free, so if you just check up online, best thing to do if you're interested in coming is to pre-book those tickets, just so you're not disappointed when you turn up if we're sold out.
Definitely, yes. Pre-book online for this, because this is a space that you do not want to miss out on. Again, the best bit about this is there is immersive fun everywhere, but all of it is educational. So like, if you're thinking, I wonder what it was like with the boats on the Thames, literally you can actually move boats through a replica of what the Thames was like. It's so much fun. I think that's, I'm not sure, maybe the cobble street's my favourite. I think this might be my favourite. What's your favourite, Cassandra?
I think Sailor Town probably is still my favourite. Yeah, I love the sense of history that you get when you're walking through it.
You can find out more by searching London Museum Docklands. And just like that, we're done. Remember, there's loads of episodes of Activity Quest that you can go back and listen to at any time. If you want some more suggestions of stuff to do, just scroll back in your podcast app and pick an episode you fancy. I'm Bex, and this has been a podcast from the UK's children's radio station, Fun Kids. Listen to me on your DAB digital radio, online, on the free Fun Kids mobile app, and on your smart speaker. Just say, play Fun Kids every weekday from 4 p.m. See you soon.